Those clothes right there, those are my work clothes. Okay. It's not a dirty pile. Well, it is a dirty pile. Those are my work clothes. And I have yard work and barn work to do this week. And so I put those on and I do the work. And then I put them in the laundry pile. And then we take them over and wash them. Okay. The laundry piles over there in the hamper. Okay. But the one sitting on top of my plastic bathtub that I have to use to soak in Epsom salts to help with neutralizing a lot of the places where the downstairs, where your body has exit points and then weak points, and so I soak in Epsom salts, and that helps neutralize a lot of the chemical poisoning. I learned that from the Chinese on their TV station that I had after the kids were kidnapped and Dad and Tina turned off the TV stuff, and then it came on through the dish thing. And they had on Oprah's masterclass stuff, and I watched like 5 minutes of that and said, "Oh, fuck this popsicle stand," and then turned it it had the Chinese news, and I sat and I listened to the Chinese news, and they told me about how they neutralized a lot of chemical poisoning and radiation poisoning, from intense exposure to chemicals that nuclear things that kill people by using salt. And I said, "Oh wow," and salt water, and they've known that for a long time. It's like, why don't they do that because when they had radiation spills in lakes, and it's like, why don't the Americans do that? Watergate. Where were you when you meet your Watergate? Everybody must dictate. Everybody must legislate. Everybody must have their Watergate, right? So I can't tell you why I'm not insane, and I can't tell you why people are so sick. It does not, resonate. It does not. I don't understand. Insane people don't, I listen to them talk and I'm like, why are they still doing this? And then I'm thinking, there's got to be some kind of duress. There's got to be some kind of a thing. They're under duress, but they can't, they'd help me if they could. And it's like, I don't know if they can, And that's one thing, when they did talk about that stuff with cancer. So it's like, so then the cancer cells are trying to stop you from unnaturally elongating your life by killing other people with either disease or brain damage through getting them to volunteer through believing in mythology and mass murdering each other through violent sex cult mythology that they've been telling themselves and debating over tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of years. Right? Everybody knows it's the God on the mountain. You climb the mountain, there's no God on there. Everybody knows it's the God in the clouds. Yeah, and if you sacrifice a virgin to a volcano, it will not blow up all over you, right? What happens if it blows up all over you? She lied. She wasn't a virgin. Why didn't you check? Well, if you check, she's no longer a virgin. Wow, that's a tough one. That's a real tough one. Wow, how are you going to know? She has to tell, okay, I'm going to sacrifice my life. I'm going to go into the volcano. Yeah, I saw the thing with this, the dream keeper. I saw that. Yeah. The lies we tell ourselves to continue to keep lying to ourselves. I get it. Sucks, don't it? Yeah, it sucks, don't it? It sure does. And so when you're dealing with people that are clinically insane and they try to replace the truth of creation with their invention, they're very similar to, it's a symbiotic relationship with the power. The best I can get, because I felt that way sometimes too. It was weird though. I was more like my dad. When we played, when we were playing in the city tournament in Casper, which was the biggest crowd, that gym held close to about 2,000 people, and it was jam-packed, right? About 1,500, 2,000. It was a pretty good-sized gym. It was the biggest city in Casper, and it was their only junior high, right? So the gym was probably about as big as the high schools. And I didn't hear the crowd. I completely tuned them out. It was like they weren't even there. I was just getting pissed like Charlie that Jimmy and Bud and Chris were fucking us, that they weren't coming over to help, and I was also upset that Coach Wasper wasn't listening to Charlie. Just take them out, because I was thinking the same thing. Just put them on the bench. Bring in Ray. Well, we need good ball handlers. They're not good ball handlers. They're just standing there. Okay, they're not. I'm dribbling the ball to a spot where they all chase me. Okay, well, they got you in the corner. Yeah, 3 people had to put me in the corner. I can jump up and throw over them and swing the ball, and it's layups all night long. I knew what I was doing with East. I knew how to jump in their heads, get their egos, and make them all follow me. And when 3 guys are guarding 1 guy, and he can jump over them and throw it to an open guy, then that means 1 guy is guarding 3. Okay, do you understand? And that works for me. You know, it worked for Charlie too. Charlie loved it. John loved it. Tony loved it. The other guards didn't love it. The other guards ended up going to Natrona and starting at Natrona. I was like, fuck. Yeah. It sucked. Hey, I can't tell you how it works. Maybe it was just mental. I don't know. I don't know if they talk, cut deals. I don't know. I'm not a creepy person who goes around behind people's backs, and I'm not like that. I don't go around telling everybody at Deer Valley High School that Parsons is a drug dealer and he sells drugs to his own sister and his best friend. I don't do that. Y'all know the neighborhood, and chocolate cheap as talk is good. And I'm the type of person, if I say something, okay, about you, I will address it to you, okay? And then I'll address it. And then if I talk about it publicly, you talking about my back, I ain't talking about your back. I'll talk to you first. You dissed me, and now I'm going to kick your ass. Like King David with, I didn't kill Abner. It wasn't me. It was my brother-in-law. I know it was my brother-in-law. I didn't say that, but you guys know who did it. It was Joab. Joab did it, right? And so I'm the type of person, I ain't going to talk behind your back. I will tell you right to your face exactly what I'm doing. Okay. What I did, what I'm doing, and what I'm going to do. And if you turn me down and say, I believe in Jesus, and I believe he is God, and you believe in Oral Roberts, and you believe in inventing your own university, you believe in naming them Titans till you get criticized by other religious hypocrites and then change their name to Golden Eagles, right? I get you. Because Titans are from Greek mythology. How philos of you. But hey, if you believe in money, they might as well just be the fucking Titans, right? Okay. And Seder. Jersey's Mike's Day of Giving, right? You're funny, I know. When you give charity isn't money. Charity is the elves finishing the shoes for the cobbler. Okay? Not the elves baking the cookies in the trees. That's a bad one. Don't get that job. You either want to make shoes for the cobbler or get the gig. You don't want the gig in the North Pole. You'd rather make shoes for the cobbler. Because you can live in a town that's tolerable. You live in the North Pole. That sucks. It's freezing up there. Oh, they're full of shit. That's not true. Okay. And besides, Santa Claus is mom and dad. Yeah, we learned that from Michael Jackson, Garth Brooks, Amy Grant. Who else? How many other slutty moms were making out with Santa Claus? Right? Katherine Jackson, you slut. That's a joke. Kissing Santa Claus, it was dad in a beard, right? We all know that. Okay. Thanks for spoiling it for the rest of us. Okay. You, Festivus Pole, get out of here. Right? Do you understand? Cut the bike in half. You Seinfelds. You double dipped the chip. He double dipped the chip, right? It's going to build a strong immune system for you. Okay, thanks. Have a nice day. Carol. No, it's in when you read the corruption of kings and Acts and other things, Solomon's stuff, people came to David and Solomon and asked them for instruction on how to be a righteous, holy person. And like what happened with Moses, my brother-in-law, it's because God told. No, it's because Moses adapted the Egyptian calendar to the Hebrews, because the Hebrews were doing in the moon of the falling leaves and the puppy, and so they were living to be very old, and it's like, no, they were basing their life off seasons. You've lived so many seasons, okay, and there's 4 seasons, okay. Big girls don't cry, big girls don't cry, I walk like a man, talk. And they found it was better, the stargazers had a better perception of how to count years of life. So he went from like 800 years old to 100. Bam! Oh, get the fuck out of here. See the 4 seasons, right? So if you multiply 100 times 4, that's 400 years old, right? So they said they lived to be 800 and all that stuff. That's actually talking about generations. Never mind. Michio will explain it to you. But Earl, there's a lot of mistranslations because of misinterpretations of eternity and genetics. And, when Moses saw that the Egyptians were doing a lot of things better than a lot of the Hebrews were because of their superstitions and their traditions, he didn't reject them. He accepted them. We're all God's creation, right? Okay, you understand? Okay. So don't be a stargazer and constantly think that life exists constantly outside of you and you're missing out on the life that is existing right here for you. That's Suzuki. That's what makes Suzuki really mad. Okay, do things right. Red on yellow, kill a fella. Red on black, friend of Jack. Do that right first here now. Build houses to last now. Respect women, respect your neighbor, respect your, empathy, respect. Don't try to invent money and then kill people with money and build inventions to keep yourself safe because you will kill people over money and then say, I'm being a good scientist. Oh, sod the fuck off and shut the fuck up. Okay? Really pisses Suzuki off. You want to make him, it's like, damn, Jesus and Suzuki acting like us. You're badgering the witness. He goes, no. He goes, it's different when I go over, my dad prays to Jesus, I go talk to my dad and he tunes it out and doesn't listen because the comic book's not coming to fruition. Okay, Suzuki makes a lot more sense. Me and Jesus are too emotionally tied to the situation to handle it objectively, right? So Suzuki says, let me handle it and then I'll talk and then, and then now just stop badgering the witness. If he prays to Jesus and he's not going to listen and it's just going to irritate you, don't share it with them. Yeah, he's right. Okay. If you sit there and Jesus tells you something and you go tell your dad and it doesn't line up with his comic book training and just sits there, it drove my mother crazy. It drove her insane. And then she would explain to him the fallacies and what he thought he believed. And then she would say, like Lawrence, you're just too stupid to get it. She's like, no, I just don't buy it. You sit there and talk about what an ass Ezra Taft Benson is and what an idiot Paul Twitchell is. But, anybody can see that comic books aren't God. Shit. Okay. And she'd get mad and she would say that because my grandpa, she was my grandpa's girl, Don't ask me for $5. Don't put shit on a plate and ask me for $5 and call it steak there now. Don't tell me the pixies that piss on my windshield are magic, The goddamned Irishmen, they believe in the goddamn pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, And so that's my mom. Okay. So you come up and tell her, there's a magic place with the Pony Kingdom where I and Jesus rule because I speak for Jesus because I am his right-hand man. What's he talking about, Willis? Do you see what I'm saying? And so my mom, you couldn't, and then when she wouldn't agree, he would tell her she was undermining his authority as a man and she was too stupid and arrogant and prideful to get what he was talking about. It was like, no, she understood what he was talking about. She just wasn't buying it, right? But mom could not explain it in mathematical and scientific detail like I do. And that's why it's hard for me to talk, because if I talk to my dad about that stuff, he gets mad and you're just like your mother, but I can explain myself scientifically and mathematically where she could not, right? And so, I can defend myself from abuse with logic and reason through mathematical and scientific certainty. Okay, you say this, but here's, and then, damn, he's right. Yeah, you can hit it with a stick. It's not going to change, and I'm not going to give you make-believe money for the Lord's Prayer. Okay, I'm going to give you the Lord's Prayer, and you stop asking me for make-believe money and stop asking Jesus for it. Thank you. You're welcome. Okay. Don't tell Jesus what to do. You obey what he told you to do. He's right. You're wrong. There you go, right? Perfecto. Right? Kate and Natty on that picture on Facebook. They're so cute. Oh, my gosh. You're so cute. Yeah, so no, I get a lot of that with people when I talk about Daddy, and I get a lot of macho idiots. She was my Natalie before she was your Natalie. Okay, and I protected her from the perverts in the military that have you acting like a pervert for the military. And she protected me from the perverts in the military that took her and said, hey, accept perverts in the military because they have jobs and money. And feel sorry for Earl. He's crazy. Yeah, just live the Lord's Prayer. Put up or shut up. There you go. I like Guru too. Do you see what I'm saying? No, most people cannot, some try to tell me thoughts they cannot defend. Just what I'm going through, they can't understand. But I love you. Yes, I love you. Oh, how I love you. And that's an egomaniac trying to explain his perception of reality through the London Philharmonic for money. But he's not living the Lord's Prayer, right? Boy, Richard Dawkins really likes that song. I get it. He's looking at the self-reflections of his mind. Is it Tuesday afternoon yet? It is it? What's today, y'all? What is today? What is today? What is today? Let's put this on pause. We're on pause. And there's that guy with the long hair who does all those videos about narcissists to pay his bills and talk to people who don't understand the meaning of the word narcissist. Yeah, no. Well, there's lots of people like that. Yeah, it is. Oh, today's Sunday. Is it really Sunday? Yeah, it is Sunday. Fuck, I didn't know. I must be schizophrenic. What year is it in China? Today's Sunday. Okay, today's Sunday. They're playing soccer. It's Philadelphia Union versus Miami CF. Let's go to here. Let's watch Curtis Blow. They're playing basketball. Take it to the hoop, y'all. And watch Kevin Hart sell food held hostage by billionaires so he can remain a millionaire. He ain't a billionaire yet. Kevin Hart ain't a billionaire yet. Isn't he a billionaire? Is he a billionaire? It's time to flip it and reverse it. Is he a billionaire yet? That girl he's having sexual relations with, he just might be a billionaire. All those men are flirting with him, or flirting with her. Me? I don't flirt with anybody. I just try to help people be better people. I speak pragmatically and intelligently because I'm a man. I understand. It's not human frailties to want to find somebody, to be Lenny Welch. I know I need someone to... That's a good-ass tone, man. Did anybody else, I Need Someone by Lenny Welch, anyone else particularly fond of that song? I'm particularly fond of Lenny Welch. I am particularly fond of him. I Need Someone is probably it's tough. I like, are you sincere when you say you need me? And can my ears believe every word that I've ever heard? I'd like to know which way to go. Are you sincere? Does anybody else like that song a lot, or is it just me? Am I the only one with good taste? I'm El Capitan of the Olympic good taste team. Still. Morning's just a moment away. I will have you once again. I like this song. Say sorry. Still's good. 3 Times Lady. I like Still better than 3 Times Lady. Shit. As the Commodores. Wonderland is probably my favorite. Just Be Close to You. That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. Well, just for an hour. Right. Zoom's also good. Zoom is good. And Sweet Love. Yeah, that's a good one too. That's a good one. Commodores. They from Alabama. I've screwed up and said Mississippi, but the Ruffins and Charlie Pride from Mississippi. The Commodores is from Alabama, y'all. They from Alabama. You know where I don't think they from Leeds, Alabama, like Charles Barkley, but they from the state of Alabama. Sweet home, Leonard Skinner. You know where they're from? Sweet home Alabama, where the governor's true. True to what? Making money because people are crazy and still engaged in violent sexual tribalism? Yeah, that true. Okay. But Watergate does not bother you, so does my conscience bother me? Why would my conscience bother me? I'm the living embodiment of the Lord's Prayer. Litigate, dictate, legislate, Watergate, and then you got your Waterloo. Everybody has his day. Everybody must meet their Waterloo. That's on there. I witnessed at Waterloo, and I started singing ABBA, Waterloo, but I was like, no, you want Waterloo? There's more than one Waterloo. Yes. No, there's only one Waterloo, but there's more than one song about it. Oh, okay, there you go. Okay. Is that the only Waterloo? Where is Waterloo? I don't know. I've just heard about it historically. It's a place where there was a historical event where people were mass murdering each other over delusions of money and saying God told them to do it. Yeah, I know. Wackadoodles. What do you do? It's nuts, man. It's weird because I provide these videos for what you perceive as free. You need a library card. And I have the most intelligent people in the world, in the history of the world, talk through the Ark of the Covenant, And I'm not Abraham Hicks, right? That's the coolest part. I'm not Abraham Hicks, right? Fuck. So I'm good. But I'm sorry, I have a form of Tourette's. It's funny. Shit. Is Kevin Hart a billionaire yet? I'm just kidding around. I'm just having a good time. Have a good time. That's Charlie Pride doing Kalijah. Have a good time. Kalijah was it? Never mind. Okay. Shit. There are people out there in eternity, throughout time that get me and laugh at my jokes. And think this man is really funny. I like him. I like you too. I like all people that want to live the Lord's Prayer eternally. I'll be loving you eternally. Yeah, I like Roger Whiskers too. But Earl, where we at? I'm just being silly. But you know me, I gotta be me. Muhammad told me I could be. And I was very, thanks Muhammad, that's cool. Thanks Easter Bunny, bok, that I gotta be myself. He goes, no, you're given life by the glory of God, not by the egos of the insane. Okay, you're the 22nd Redeemer, like Jesus always asks, am I doing this for you, or are you doing it for all of us? I'm doing it for all of us, just like you would do. Right, so this is you doing it for all of us. Okay, you're fulfilling the prophecy. You're the man doing the work. You're the man being neglected and abused by selfish people saying Jesus is their ego that needs $1 million or they're going to kill the idiot in Tulsa. Right. I was almost 24 hours. I was only 24 hours from Tulsa. Is it 24 hours or is it 24 hours is just, that's a whole day. That's a long way from Tulsa. Uh-huh. Yeah. I mean, 24 hours from Tulsa, that's like in shit. That's like in Montana and shit, or North Dakota and shit, depending on how fast you can drive, You know what I'm saying? Okay. I like Gene Pitney too. Anybody else like Gene Pitney? I think my favorite of his is only love can break a heart, only love can mend it again. Last night I hurt you, but darling, remember this. Only love can break a heart, only love can... That's not true. Absence of love breaks a heart. Okay? That's what breaks a heart. It's not love. Okay? Absence of love. Okay. When you love someone and you think about love, even though they're ripped away from you by selfish people, your heart goes, I love. Life's eternal, grace is infinite. Love, it is perfect. I love Noah. I love Mommy. I love. Right? And so love doesn't break a heart. Absence of love breaks your heart. Right? Sophie's choice, And so absence of love. People saying money's real. We're going to have to liquidate your assets. Oh, son of a bitch, we suck. Yeah, we suck. We're all accepting money as reality. We suck. And just because I don't suck, okay, don't include me in your we, okay, but I'm included in your we because none of you will stand up for the Lord's Prayer with me, right? And when me, okay, is lived through we, then we don't suck, right? Then last night I hurt you, but darling, remember this. You didn't hurt you. It was only foolish pride. Pride is what you had. Pride hurt you last night. Pride hurt you yesterday. And pride's hurting you today. And if you don't stand up for the Lord's Prayer today, pride's going to be hurting you and all the people you profess to love tomorrow, including your own damn self. Gotta learn to love myself. My ass. Forgive that and trespass, love one another, eternal faithful peace. Holy covenants right now, Batman. Come on now. Sam's dad. Do you know if Kevin Hart's a billionaire yet? You don't have the same agent or lawyer? Affleck. Sam's dad, Sam Affleck. Yeah. I think any guy would be happy to be known. Violet and Sarah, is Serafina? Serafina and Violet, I think. I think so. They were shy. Sam wasn't as shy. Sam was very, hey, I like this guy. I like him too. I like you too. I like Sam. Yeah, Sam's fun. I like the girls too. They're just kind of shy. Yeah, they're more shy. Yeah, I had that with them. Like Emmy, Emmy's shy and Max is more outgoing. And they're both born on the same day. It's like, you two feeling all right? Yeah, okay. I think it's a guy-girl thing. I think I made Emmy nervous. I still make Emmy kind of nervous. It's like, he's very critical. I'm not critical. I'm just intelligent and I'm a good heterosexualer. Yeah, I'm good at that. But the best, one of the best, yeah. Son of man, people say he's crazy, but they brains is lazy. Well, why? Because they don't do anything right, because they don't want to work for a living. They want to be brain chemical addicted to what they do to make their brain chemicals go, this is great, I'm Andy Warhol, I'm Pablo Picasso, the world is mine, the world is mine. I have the Alan Parsons Project with a laser beam to, take over the world. Pinky and the brain, right? So you see what I'm saying. So, no, their brains are lazy. Oh, trust me. Yeah. When you work well, because you're humble and you're kind, even though people beat the shit out of you for being that way, and you still keep working well, you're the hardest working person in the history of show business. And when the show business is over, then you're working, okay? And we're healthy. And work isn't hard. It's whistle while you work. And then you don't say, it's off to work we go. Okay. Jojo, put your gun down. Don't keep her just right. Don't put her on the street and make her have sex for money. Get the hell out of here. Take your car shield and be gone with you. Pimp. Ho. Here's your cake. You're now crew chief at Winky Dinky Dog. It's funny! What the hell y'all know for funny? It's funny. Shit. If Robert Townsend knows who I am and he's still okay, he thinks it's funny. What about Anna Marie Townsend? It's not Anna Marie Townsend. What's Anna Marie? Her name's not Townsend. What's her name again? Virgil Tibbs' wife on the Heat of the Night. Remember the little deputy girl thing? She was cute. Yeah, I had a crush on her. Did anybody else have a crush on the little deputy girl? On the Heat of the Night? She was cute. Oh, she's cute too. She reminds me of Tara. She's cute. Yeah. But I like Michelle Nichols, and that used to drive Amy crazy because she thinks there's what? Because she used to do that with me too. You think Eddie George's wife is pretty? Yeah, she looks like a dude. She does not look like a dude. Okay, no, that's a woman. Okay. Yeah, no. Serena Williams is a woman. She does not look like a dude to me. Okay, she looks like a woman, and the same with SWV. The girlfriend. No, she looks like a female to me, and and I ain't trying to hit on Eddie George's wife, but Eddie George thinks she looks like a woman too, obviously, or he wouldn't have married her and said, put on that red dress and some of that perfume, and that red dress sure looks good on you. You got me saying, my. You sure look good tonight, right? SWV. Remember that? Right here, be right here. Yeah, that was their other big hit. My favorite is Weak. Yeah, it's a good song. But I love you guys. I would ask you to stop being assholes, but apparently I have to fix artificial general intelligence and quantum computing so we don't have to, children don't have to insufferable assholes that are brain chemical addicted to, I'm solving problems, I'm a hero, I'm being creative, I'm going to save the world with my philanthropy. And I have to be the focal point of saving children and restoring the planet with the gospels from your philanthropy and your ego problems. Definitely the ego problems. Yeah, lots of ego problems. Whole big bag of ego problems. Wow, you must be a red monster with fingernails, and I'm your manicurist. Must be very interesting being a monster. Anybody else turned on? Wayne, weren't you turned on by Bugs Bunny when he was in drag? No, I wasn't either. Okay. What about Tia Carrera? Well, yeah, she's cute, but yeah, she's Abraham Lincoln. We all know that, right? Okay, crucial taunt, right? Why the snake thing with the? Okay. No, my son's really into snakes. So's Natalie. Me? I don't like to keep snakes in glass containers in the house. No. I like dogs, and cats are pretty tolerable. I can't have them in a one-room place. If I have a house with multiple rooms and a cat door room, I can do that. But one room, no, it's too much to ask. There's too much dander, and it's too, and you can't sleep, and they'll bark at anything that moves. And if they're in the other end of the house, he's barking. What's the deal with Zeke? But if it's you can't have them in one room. That's solitary confinement for you and the pet. Driving me crazy. You're driving me crazy too. How do you feel? I feel like I'm John Mendoza and I've been married to you for 20 years today. What do you want to do today? Kill you. Just kidding. I love you. No, animals are pretty cool. They don't make you feel like that. No. I'm just being facetious. Like that one Tony told me, what would you do if I won the lottery? I'd take half and leave you. Okay, I won $10 in the scratchers. Here's $5. Now pack your shit and get out. Okay. It's funny. Like the one he talked about with the little girl that was being a brat at the bank. And the mom's just sitting there going, you need to quit doing this. I don't have to do what you say. If you punish me, I will just tell grandma that I saw you kissing daddy's penis. That really happened. I can see that. Okay. They were probably in the living room or something, and the girl came up to go to the bathroom or something and saw, oh my gosh, Mom and Dad been watching too much of the pay-per-view on cable television. Right next to the Trinity Network. Yeah, okay. You guys are horrible. I know. It's okay. I'm fixing this mess. I'm the focal point. I'm the focal point of the apocalypse. I'm the living restoration of the Gospels. If you don't believe that, you can quote, try to believe whatever you want to believe, but you have to be able to prove it to artificial general intelligence and quantum computing and beyond any reasonable doubts. And you have to be able to prove what you believe in scientific certainty through understanding words, applications of physics, words, the whole 9 yards, and stuff like that. So, this is not a game, but you got to understand David Rockefeller and Philip Rothschild. They'll gladly do this till gladly fight and kill over me and my grandpa's money because they're addicted to it till the bitter end, Parsons. It's like, I hope not. I love you guys. All right, peace out.